Welcome to VCTV. Hi, I'm Kristina, and I'm here at the CVCA 2012 conference. And I'm here with Jeff Mallet, who's former president of Yahoo. You brought the company from $0 to $3 billion. It's incredible to meet you, Jeff.
Oh, thank you. And yes, quite an experience to have an opportunity to take something to that scale.
So how did you make all that happen?
Well, it went from just 12 of us in a single room to when I left it was over 5,000 of us. And it's really key people being able to be very entrepreneurial in spirit, executing, and then failing very quickly and moving on and improving it.
So I guess that'd be the biggest lesson that you would give to a startup today and moving it forward, really being able to capture some of the lessons and then just go through the crisis in a very professional, step-by-step movement forward.
Yeah, there's no time to go backwards. There's no time to miss market opportunities. And so it is fail very fast and create a culture where that's actually supported. So if it's not working, that is totally okay, but you better have a solution for what plan B is.
Now this is an exciting event. We've got VCs and private equity people from across North America and elsewhere. What do you think about the culture here in Canada and how we're doing?
Well, being a proud Canadian, and I'm an investor now in many businesses up here in Canada, so both stateside and up here, and I think it's a very vibrant community. I think it's really coming of age right now. I think it's starting to really understand and find good companies here, and also looking at a more North American approach versus just a pure Canadian approach, and I think that's going to bode them well on the next few years.
Well, these are exciting times, so what do you think about the conference this year?
It's a wonderful vibe, and yesterday there were 800 plus entrepreneurs in here, and then today it's the suits, but it's the people who get to fund those entrepreneurs, so I see the combination of really interested, intelligent, financial people meeting with what really matters is the entrepreneurs and business owners. I think it's a great dynamic.
Well, it's an incredible conference, and it's been our privilege to be able to speak with you here. Thanks so much for taking the time, Jeff, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Welcome to VCTV. Hi, I'm Kristina, and I'm here with Shawn Abbott from iNovia Capital.
Good morning, Kristina.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. So how's the conference so far? You are one of the moderators and for one of the panels?
Yeah, we're just wrapping up now. You know, we've had a busy couple of days, and stress of getting a panel ready and moderating it, it was finished yesterday for me, so I got to enjoy a couple of the sessions today and hear about some of the trends unfolding in the industry, which is, this is kind of an annual check-in for us. We really get the whole community together here, not just Canadian fund managers and LPs, but international influence as well. And, our industry we're optimistic about the times ahead.
Exactly. Now, how was the experience as a moderator? What were some of the key points you'd like to share?
Well, we always try and put together a good session for attendees. We've had, about 650 participants this year. I think we had record participation in our panel yesterday, really looking at what does it take for startups in Canada in particular to break through to be $100 million companies rather than sort of first base exits, which we often see a lot of, and those are great tech stories, but we want to see acquirers, consolidators in Canada becoming cornerstones of new industries, not just selling in all cases to American companies. So some great topics. We had a terrific panel with folks that have broken through those barriers, entrepreneurs, and very interactive with the audience. All the participants here this week got a little BlackBerry playbook, so we were able to get the audience using those to ask questions very interactively. We went about an hour, discovered some, I think, new observations, and had fun with it.
Sure, we had the program on the playbook, and they were able to interact socially, and it's been a fun experience. Yeah. Now, as a moderator, you're mentioning about the $100 million companies. What can we do better so that we can have more $100 million companies in Canada?
Well, I do think that the context in which tech companies are created is changing the landscape. We have great repeat entrepreneurs in Canada now. They're looking for the local support and capital, but capital, like companies and our customer markets, are truly global now. And we kind of concluded in the panel that the border is invisible. Many of the regulatory hurdles to building companies in Canada, securing investment are gone. We've syndicated all the companies we've helped build in Canada with top-tier U.S. funds that have come in with us. Over half of our investments now are in the U.S., so it really has become a very fluid market for us in the capital side of business building, as it has for entrepreneurs building their products and selling them internationally. So I think those are the right trends. There's several new funds that have been raised recently, a couple announced here just this week. That's great news for the industry and for us in having more people to work with in building companies.
We'll be excited to see what's coming up next on the horizon. And I know you got to catch a flight to Calgary for our iNovia offices there.
Thanks.
And so thanks so much for taking the time, and thanks to Chris Arsenault and the entire team here for CVCA to pull it all together. It was a great panel.
Well, and we'll look forward to seeing everyone next year in Banff, in Calgary.
Home for you back in Alberta, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, Shawn. Speak to you soon.
Kristina.
Bye.
Okay.
Welcome to VCTV. Hi, I'm Kristina, and I'm here at the CVCA 2012 conference, and I happen to be speaking with the author of the Private Capital Pulse CVCA membership survey. And you had a presentation yesterday that was very fascinating. And this is Ian Palm, and you're with McCarthey Tetrault. Could you talk to us a little bit about some of the key lessons from your report?
Sure. Thanks for having me. We at McCarthey's do a lot of private equity and venture capital work, and we thought it would be appropriate, and the CVCA was excited about doing a survey of members on what their expectations were and what their intentions were with respect to investing capital over the next while, and what their expectations were on exits with respect to investments. And we did the first one in November, and this update is as of a couple weeks ago. So we did a survey over 2 weeks. We surveyed members across the country. These are people who invest in venture capital. They also invest in private equity, and they are the ones who are available to make investments into startups. And we thought it was important to get a sense of what they are thinking about over the next 6 months with respect to the capital they're looking to invest.
Now, what are the biggest takeaways from this report?
So the thing that I was surprised at the most was the degree of sort of general optimism and excitement about where they're going to put capital over the next little while. So we found that over 78% of members who responded were interested in making more new investments or investing at least as much capital over the next 6 months as they had invested in the last 6 months. So if you compare that to, and that's higher than the previous survey we did by a substantial amount, and if you compare that to the general economic environment, it's a bit surprising to see that people view the investment climate as fairly positive. And so I think that from the perspective of someone who's trying to attract capital and look to for new ideas, I think you'll find that there is some enthusiasm out there from people who have the capital to invest.
How are you doing vis-a-vis the global market, even with our friends down in the States and elsewhere?
Well, so that was another thing we covered in the survey. So we asked members to say, compare the Canadian environment for private equity and venture capital to other markets in the world, and we were surprised to learn that, frankly, there was generally a positive environment with respect to their views with respect to the Canadian environment was generally very positive as compared to most places around the world, including Europe and the U.S. and Latin America. The only ones where they thought that there may be a better environment for private equity and venture capital at the present time as compared to Canada were China and India. And that's not surprising given the size of that economy and the fact that it's growing to the degree it is as compared to Canada. But generally speaking, people were pretty positive about the Canadian environment versus others.
And we see that here at the conference, that we have participants, many of which are from the United States and elsewhere. So how do you like the conference so far?
Oh, I think it's been great. It's there's been lots of discussions amongst people. People are generally positive, and I've attended these conferences in the past, and there's not the malaise you saw in sort of 2008 or even a couple of years ago. There's a number of new VCs who have, in the last year to 18 months, raised capital, and including many Montreal-based ones. And then there's also a number of VCs who have announced either at this conference or shortly before this conference that they've closed a new fund. So I think people view the marketplace as fairly positive, that there's new capital to invest, and people are cautiously optimistic about the future of VC in Canada.
Other than economic conditions, what do you think created this success story?
Oh, I think that we've lived through a long period of some describe it as a nuclear winter, some describe it as a restart, but in venture in Canada, there's a lot of people who are no longer in venture that raised funds through the 2002 through 2006 timeframe, and they're not involved anymore. I think that that part of the enthusiasm is just about new blood and new people who are trying to get investments into interesting companies.
Well, we'll see the impact of that in the next report coming up. But this one's fascinating, and we'll try to put it up on our website as well on venturecaptv so other people can take a look at it. Thanks so much for taking the time and for pulling this together. It's very valuable.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
Great. Thanks. Enjoy the rest of the conference.